following announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.
Strikes midnight tomorrow, we would be giving terrorists the opportunity to plot attacks against our country undetected. In the last several years, the government has stopped dozens of would-be terrorists before they could strike. Now the senator from Kentucky is threatening to take away the best tools we have for stopping them. Does this mean the Patriot Act is perfect? Of course not, Mr. President. But today, the Republican leader and I received a letter from James Clapper, a three-star retired general from the United States military, the nation's director of national intelligence. He knows better than any of us the real effects of letting terrorist fighting tools expire. In his letter, he wrote about our ability to conduct surveillance on foreign radicals, to track purchases of bomb-making materials and other classified programs. All of these would expire with the Patriot Act if we let it expire. This is particularly a bad time to shut down electronic surveillance programs. As has been widely reported in the press, we recovered thousands of documents, photos, videos, and other material from Osama bin Laden's compound. This material has opened dozens of investigations and leads to new terrorist suspects and terrorist activities directed toward the United States of America. It continues to yield more and more information every day. If the senator from Kentucky refuses to relent, the government will be unable to fully pursue these leads. That would increase the risk of a retaliatory terrorist strike against the homeland and hamper our ability to deal a truly fatal blow to Al-Qaeda. I repeat, Director Clapper, a retired three-star general, asked us not to allow a moment's interruption in the intelligence community's ability to protect the American people. Some may be asking why. Then, why is the senator from Kentucky holding out? What's keeping him from accepting an agreement to move forward? One that, as I explained, I think is more than fair to him and the Senate. A couple of strong Democratic amendments and his amendments. 4 of them in number. The reason is that he's fighting for an amendment to protect the right, not of average citizens, but of terrorists to cover up their gun purchases. It's all dealing with a gun amendment, Mr. President. We all remember the tragic Fort Hood shootings less than 2 years ago. A radicalized American terrorist bought guns from a Texas gun store and used them to kill 13 innocent soldiers and civilians. It's hard to imagine why the senator from Kentucky would want to hold up the Patriot Act for a misguided amendment that would make America less safe. The senator from Kentucky also complains that the Senate has not had a week of debate. We all would like to have more debate on this issue. The presiding officer would. We'd like to have a lot of debate on other things, Mr. President. The presiding officer was one of the senators that led an effort earlier in this session to make sure that we'd have more robust debate. We made a little progress, but not enough. But the senator from Kentucky complaining that we haven't had a week of debate better come up with something a little better than that. Here's why. This matter has been before the Senate for 1 week now. I moved to proceed to the Patriot Act last Thursday. Today is Wednesday. As of today, the Senate has been working toward passing this measure for 6 or 7 days. There's no question that the senators have had the opportunity to debate. The only question has been how senators have chosen to use these last days. The bottom line is that no matter how long it takes to get there, we're going to have this vote, and the vote will win. We will pass the Patriot Act and do everything we can to keep the American people safe. It's up to the senator from Kentucky whether those national security programs will expire before you get a chance to vote. That expiration date is extremely important. And if he thinks that's going to be a badge of courage on his side to have held this up for a few hours, he's made a mistake. It will set this program back significantly, and that's too bad. The clock is ticking. The ball is in his court.
The preceding announcement has been paid for by the New World Order.